Hello, and welcome to the course How to Write Instrumental Cues for Television featuring Eddie Gray. This video presentation was originally a live webinar hosted by How to License Your Music Premium. The webinar was facilitated by me, Aaron Davison, and features Eddie Gray discussing the topic of how to write instrumental cues for television, and also features producer Gary Gray, who is both my producer and who has also worked extensively with Eddie on his production skills over the last several years. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to check out How to License Your Music Premium. How to License Your Music Premium hosts monthly live webinars like this one, and also offers dozens of more in-depth music business courses, music licensing leads, music business ebooks, music industry directories, one-on-one coaching, and much, much more for one low monthly price. For more information, visit htlympremium.com. That's HTLYM for How to License Your Music Premium.com.
Great job on Raise. I really like that one.
That was the one we did there. I think there's something. Are you seeing it, Eusebio?
Which one is it?
It's working.
Aaron,
you guys
what's
wrote a song called Raise. It was amazing.
Oh, did we rename it, Aaron?
Rays of Sunshine?
Rays of Hope. It's the one we did when I was there. That one turned out great.
Do you see his video going left and right with a white?
I do. There's a paper. What's that white thing?
Paper in front of your thing?
Let me fix that. Hang on.
Oh.
It's
looks like special effects.
No, they're drapes.
I thought that was like special effects.
Put headphones on, please. That's what Gary said. Gary's the boss. Because it's hard for me to talk and do this at the same time. Maybe say a couple words and just welcome everybody to the presentation.
Sure.
Tell us what you've been up to lately, Gary. What have you been working on?
Okay. Well, let's see. Right behind me here in my home studio, I'm working on a track for a 20th Century Fox right now. And I acquired that client back in December, which was good timing for the holiday season. And I've been doing some kind of epic productions. And this one happens to be a rock and orchestra epic production. So that's the last one I've been working on. And been in touch a lot. Actually, I'm doing a lot of work with both Aaron and Eddie, which I think between us in the last couple of weeks, we got 5 tracks placed, which is really cool. Big thumbs up for the team. And that's what this is all about. So we'll be covering a lot of how that happens and why that happens. And the main man in LA is Eddie Gray. And this guy is like on fire. He's, fortunately for Aaron and I, he touched both of our lives, and he took his talents and a little bit of what we taught him and a lot of his own determination, and just has been setting the world on fire. And we're just like so proud of Eddie. It's like where the student becomes the teacher. We're all learning from each other here. And Eddie has been an incredible person, just as a person. And you'll see that as a thread through a lot of what we talk about, which is your music has to be good, absolutely. Productions have to be good, absolutely. A lot of technical things have to be good, absolutely. However, senior to all of that, above all of that, is how you interact with people. And you'll just see it in these guys, as you listen to both Aaron and Eddie, the type of people they are. They're like, you want to hang out with them, you want to work with them. And that's why people, accept their tracks, besides the fact that they're awesome, is that they want to work with these guys. And that's really important, how you present yourself. So that's my introduction. Hopefully, Aaron, you're ready now.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Thank you, Gary. So I want to welcome everybody officially to the webinar. Hopefully there are a number of you watching. We don't know exactly who's attending right now, but I know a lot of you are. So again, welcome to the webinar. This is going to be, we're going to go about an hour today. This is an hour-long presentation on how to write instrumental cues for television. And a lot of you already know Eddie Gray. A lot of you have checked out the course that I did with Eddie a couple months ago. I guess we did a course called How to Be a Full-Time TV Composer. And Eddie has been licensing his music for, how long has it been now, Eddie? About 4 or 5 years? When did you officially get started in this business?
Well, I started about 4 years and you see, November, December, January, February, March. So 4 years and 4 months, but I didn't really start licensing until my first year. I took the first year to learn the software, in my case Logic, to just kind of, you know, get my feet wet, learn about the industry. I took a lot of your courses, Gary's courses. So let's just say 3 years and 4 months.
Okay, cool, excellent. And Eddie has done a lot in a short amount of time. He's accomplished a lot in the space of licensing. How many songs to date? How many placements do you think you've had so far? Do you have like a ballpark idea of how many?
I stopped counting at 5,000. I thought at that point,
wow,
you just gotta let it go. And I talk about attenuating highs and removing harshness.
One of my favorite ways of eliminating and or removing harshness from a track is by using the UAD Pultec. Waves makes their version. It's called the Puig Tech. And then, of course, Logic has now made its very own vintage tube EQ. So let me demonstrate this on a drum track. Okay, great. So if I turn on, let's try this one by UAD first. I'm going to isolate 3000 hertz here. Here's before. Here's after. So we're talking about a smoother sound with more clarity and a subtle approach.
The best way I can describe this is when you're watching a movie, there's a main character, you have a sense of where the story's going, and this creates a basis of understanding. It allows us to communicate my ideas to your ears so that you can comprehend it.
Like take a blues fan, you know, the blues is completely predictable. And yet blues fans will listen to blues till they die and they love it and it's totally predictable. So it kind of ties into healing. There are certain chord changes that are predictable and healing, and that's why people love to listen to them over and over. So you can throw in a bit of surprise, but I think if you have, usually we're talking about like 75% predictable, 25% surprise, like somewhere in there, tends to create a real nice recipe. Just wanted to add that in there.
Tying us into healing. This is the one that so we've gone over pleasing, predictable, and now healing. This has a lot to do with frequencies. We can all agree that music is a very healing medium. Before we started working together, Gary, I actually used to just work on songs. I'd work on the B section. I'd get to the end, and I'd say, okay, cool, and I would just render. I'd bounce. It wasn't until we started working together that I actually would listen from beginning to end, hundreds, thousands of times, and that's when I really started to grow as somebody who was green in the industry, and then somebody now who is a little bit deeper into the industry. So yeah, man, that's a great tip. Listen from beginning to end. Mixing, taking your time, listening, removing elements. I talk to a lot of composers and a lot of young guys. They're just doing too much. They're adding too many themes or counterpoint melodies. They're layering too many tracks. They're trying to be different and they're trying to be cool, and it's not working in their favor. Sometimes you just kind of have to use the tools and use them in a discretionary way, but in a way that is powerful and unique by itself. You don't have to overcomplicate it. So
can you talk a little bit about knowing when there's just too much going on versus knowing when you're sort of in the ballpark in terms of simplicity? Because I feel like this is I feel like this is one of those topics, if you don't know what you know, Eddie, you could be totally shooting in the dark and missing out on opportunities and not knowing why. Are you going to play anything during the webinar that sort of demonstrates the right amount of notes and how to approach things melodically?
So it's a very simple song. So let's take a listen. Let's see if, and you guys give me the thumbs up or not.
proper way to end a track. Most of the time, I see new artists, new composers who are up and coming, and they're rushing to finish the track, to make an impression, and to try and get a gig. The most important thing is that you take care of your music and that you put all of your being into it. Let's talk about some do nots. Definitely do not fade. No fades, ever. 0. Unless it's requested by the music supervisor or the person that you're working with.
If you do it and you fail, then at least you tried, you know? And that was my main thing, was like, if I fail, then I failed, you know? Like, at least I did it. So if you need any more help or encouragement or specifics, I specifically have compassion and and sympathy for you. So please, let me serve you how I can. But good luck fighting the good fight. Keep reaching out to publishers. Keep reaching out to music houses. Keep working on your craft.
Excellent. So listen, guys, we're about 8 minutes over. So I want to wrap up. I want to, big thanks to you, Eddie, and Gary, to both of you for being on this webinar. As you guys know, watching this is our first monthly webinar. We're going to do this once a month just for members of How to License Your Music Premium. So I think this went pretty smoothly. Big thanks to everyone who attended the webinar. The replay will be available on the same page that you're watching this from later this afternoon. So if you want to go back and rewatch this, check that out. There's 2 tracks below this video that Eddie mentioned during this webinar that you can check out, but there's also probably 20 or 30 of Eddie's tracks in the reference library section. So if you haven't already checked that out, it's in the members area. Go to the reference library and there's tracks by Gary and myself and Eddie. Go listen to those. I feel like one of the most important things you can do as a musician who's trying to license music is just simply listen to music that's being licensed. Listen to what works and try to model that, to the best of your ability. So huge thanks to everybody. Again, we look forward to doing this on a monthly basis, and we're going to go ahead and sign off. But Eddie and Gary, if you guys could stick around for like 1 or 2 minutes, we'll do a little post-webinar wrap-up. But again, huge thanks, everybody, and we'll see you guys on the next webinar.